Good morning. We're live. We made it. Welcome to another fun episode of Daddykirbs Live here on the farm. Today is the Hurricane Harvey edition. So far, the hurricane hasn't been a major effect except for a lot of water and some pretty significant wind. But we haven't seen the worst of it yet. It's coming, so we're still prepared, but so far we're fine. This is a live show, and if you're watching this in replay, you may find that there are moments where I'm just engaging with the audience and not talking about a particular subject. So the purpose of the live show is for community building and engaging with those people that like to tune in live on Saturday mornings. So I'm going to scroll through and see who's here. And mostly my concern for, as far as the hurricane goes this morning is not for me because I'm fine. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, but we're fine. I am very concerned about others in Texas that are closer to the coast or more in that direct path. So if you're anywhere further south of me, I would love to hear from you and know that you're okay. Let's see. Lots of conversation. I'm scrolling all the way through. I see Kate and We Tree Bonsai and Meredith Grace. Let's see here. I'm not reading comments. I'm just looking for names real quick to see who's in the room. Thank you for joining me. I hope everyone enjoyed that little episode I put up special last night with the animals. That was really kind of an impromptu video with the family. We just pulled the camera out and recorded what we were doing and made a little video out of it so that I could put it up and share with everyone, because I did have several people asking, how are you managing the farm with the animals? Let's see here. Dolly Perry. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Okay. Susanna Gonzalez, Dolly Perry, Sherry Ambrose, Carson Labier, Gopher Green Living, Tangi the Caver's wife is in the house, Angie's Pantry, Buck Carpenter, Sunny Dog Homestead, good looking group, Cow Garden, I may miss somebody, I hope not, Angelina Angela, Wendy Benjamin, Rebecca Smith, all these shout outs because I really appreciate who you are and that you are here with me. Yes, everyone grab your coffee or your preferred beverage and enjoy a few minutes while we still have internet. Actually, I don't expect it to go down, but just being dramatic, The internet is a little weak this morning, so if we cut out or it doesn't look good, that is the reason. Kate, I'm glad that you are okay over where you are. I know right down the road, but it was not a good morning to drive over here and join me live, but I'm glad you are safe at home and able to help me out. All right, so who else is in Texas and within the path of Hurricane Harvey? I'd like to know. I'd like to know if you're okay. I spoke with Bo Brotherton from Better Together Living yesterday. He's down in the just west of Houston area, and he was fine yesterday. He felt like he was in a good position. He has all the provisions. He's not in a floodplain, so hopefully he and his family are fine over there. I'm looking forward to talking to him again later today. Maybe he'll jump on in the live show, then he can let us all know what's going on. Angie's Pantry is in Michigan. Sunny and 78. You are getting the good weather today. I did that video yesterday with the animals. There wasn't a whole lot to do, actually. Just basically what I showed in the video. The chickens are mostly fine. They're in coops where they can get off the floor, and for the most part, most of the chicken coops don't take on a lot of water, so they're fine. The ducks, I'm generally not concerned as long as they're not swimming through rivers because, hey, Øystein, good to see you this morning. Glad to see that you could jump in here. The ducks are generally fine. In fact, they like it when it rains because they like a good wet floor. But, yeah, I was a little concerned about making sure all of the tortoises were taken away from their pens because they are not ideal. They do take on water, and I don't want the tortoises sitting in water. So they were taken care of. Maggie is stalled up because it's going to get sloppy out here, and I don't want her to be slipping around in the rain. Sarah, good to see you. Yes, we're doing fine over here. I know that you're over not too far away. How's it going for you, Sarah? Tell me about your situation, the wind and the rain. Freedom Acres jumped in. Good to see you. One of my pleasures doing these shows is just seeing you guys come in the show because I really do appreciate that you are a part of this community. You guys are the community. You guys are what really makes this happen. I'm just some guy on a farm with a camera. But thank you so much for joining me. Yes, so I also have a video, another special Hurricane Edition video coming out. Okay, Sarah says it's windy, but not bad. We've got everything tied down. That's good to hear. Right now, it is windy. The rain is intermittent. Sometimes it comes in real hard, and then it kind of cuts off, like right now. There's not a lot of rain. But I do suspect that later on this afternoon, when that eye moves closer to us, we're going to get a lot more. What was I saying before I interrupted myself? Oh, the video that's coming out today, another special edition. Yesterday, as I was preparing, you know, just tying things down, putting things away, making sure things aren't in a bad position, I recognized that I have never really done any appropriate prepping for cooking. Because every bit of the cooking that we do here, our stove, our griddle, our waffle maker, everything relies on electricity. If we lose power, we can't cook. So I started looking around and I thought, well, it's okay because I have a camp stove in the shed. I'll just pull it out and we'll be fine. Well, there were problems with the camp stove, and I'll show you in that video coming up right after the live show. I'm going to go upstairs and put that video live. So probably around 10:30, that video is going to go live, and you'll see a real quick view into my challenge with my inappropriate prepping for my cooking, and how for this moment I'm solving that issue. Yeah, I saw somebody mentioned rocket stove, solar oven, although a solar oven today wouldn't do a lot of good. The rocket stove, I have many times toyed with them, you know, temporary little stoves. I think it's a great idea. I'm not sure how the rocket stove would work when I need to cook in this type of situation because it does have to be out of the weather. Can't be in the house. I live in a log cabin. Putting a rocket stove in there would not be good, unless, of course, I had it perfectly insulated and built correctly in such a way that it became a part of the home. Then it could be safe, but just a temporary rocket stove would not be a good idea. But I do hope that I can figure out a better way, redundant ways, you know, multiple ways to be able to heat water, cook food, and whatever in these emergency situations. Not that today is an emergency, but the fact that a hurricane is coming this direction makes you start thinking about things, saying, oh gosh, what would happen if something really bad were to go on? Freedom Maker says, that's what I'm working on right now. Long-term food preparation preps. I can't wait to see. You can't wait to see. Yeah. Well, I hope I don't disappoint you, but here's a little clue. Yep. Yep. That's not just decoration there. Okay. Wee Tree Bonsai says that she has 3 ways to cook besides electric. That is fantastic, and I would love to see or hear about the different ways that you are doing it. I know, I've done some researching over the last few years about stoves and, outdoor, just the different ways that people cook without electricity in an emergency or camping or just a fun outdoor experience. But I just haven't implemented anything. It's never been that urgent. So, but this experience at least put it in my mind that, okay, you really do have to have a plan. Liv is in the house. What about an outdoor cob oven and grill? That is one of the things that I have really wanted to do. In fact, we have a plan that out here behind the second cabin, what we call the guest house. It's really just the original cabin that was here on the farm. Behind that is a space that we've talked about building an outdoor enclosure, like a shelter, and then having an outdoor kitchen built into that. So, the brick oven, the enclosed oven, a rocket stove, several ways that we could build a fire, propane fired and wood fired, just for redundancy and efficiency for the outdoor cooking. So yes, those are things that we hope to get done. But of course, right now my focus is getting through getting through July and August with the heat. Looks like that, at least for the moment, is over. And getting the horse barn finished, getting Teo home, the fence done, opposite order, getting the fence done, getting Teo home, and then I can start focusing on some of those other projects, like expanding the garden. I have a plan to expand the garden space, and then some of these other outdoor projects. I've considered a solar oven, solar dehydrator, the outdoor kitchen area. All of these things are plans, at least in here, but it takes time and money. And right now, we're running short on both. Do you have any stored power from the solar panels? I don't, because I don't have a battery bank. The solar panels right now are good to supplement the electricity that I have, that we use, but everything right now is fed directly back. It's either used or fed into the grid. So if the power goes out, I'm not really sure how that works, but I think that the solar panels are dependent on there being a live grid in order for you to still have power. I might be wrong on that. It would be interesting. I don't want the power to go out, but it would be interesting to see if the power goes out, if we still have anything. But I know if there's no sun and the power goes out, we have nothing because we have no batteries. Sunny Dog hopes to have an outdoor kitchen eventually. I know there's a lot of really cool outdoor kitchens on YouTube, people making those kitchens on YouTube. Ronald, good morning. Good morning, Vietnam. Oh yeah, wrong era. My internet is showing a bad connection. If we get disconnected, my apologize. I have, it is kind of a rough internet connection this morning. How much water do you have stored? 20,000 gallons. Actually, that's in my pool. I don't have a lot of water storage. I have a 50-gallon barrel out by the chicken coops. I have a 100-gallon barrel behind the second cabin. And yeah, so that's about it. I haven't implemented any of my major water storage projects either. That's one of the things with the horse barn. I have a 600-gallon tank that's going to be my first stage of water storage on the horse barn. I'm going to put a gutter along the backside of the horse barn and then hook up that 600-gallon tank, and then eventually I'd like to build a very large have you ever seen those water tanks that are built with using the what do you call them, the pipes that lay underground? I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, those pipes, those large galvanized pipes, sometimes they're 4, 5, 6 feet wide, and stand it up on end and make a water tank out of that. And that's going to go back behind the horse barn. We got Raid K0CZ from Czechoslovakia. Good morning, good to see you. Czech Republic. There's always the good old-fashioned grill. Yes, my grill, well, it's falling apart. I needed a different grill. Let's see here. I've been toying with the clay oven idea. My Wisla says that, and that is another thing that I've been hoping to do. Again, part of that outdoor kitchen project. NBC News is showing where trees are toppled, I guess, on a home. Yeah, there are some places that are getting some serious wind. I don't know what the gusts are here. Maybe so far 30, 40 miles an hour gust. It hasn't been horribly significant, but there are places that are getting 100+ mile an hour winds. Øystein says, we have wood burning stoves, so if we lose electric, we just put our pots and pans on the stove. You guys have a wonderful setup there with the stoves that you use, heating your house and being able to cook your food. Yeah, you guys have it. You got it going on up there. Trish says, I'm surprised how light it is there. It's very dark in Round Rock. You know what I noticed this morning when I was watching the news? That the spiraling tail, the part that came off the hurricane, was actually going around us and hitting the Austin Round Rock area a lot harder than it is here. So I think we're kind of in between the main hurricane and that tail that's whipping around. It's going to our north. So yeah, it's... Uh-oh, I just heard a metal roof. Not sure where that one was climbing around, but something out behind the garden, it sounds like, just got moved around a bit. Laura Flash, Matthew, hey Matthew. Yes, Rain Country. Okay, let's see. Sounds like my dream outdoor kitchen. Are you talking about my plan? It really is cool in my head. We'll see if we ever make it happen. Internet's looking bad. Sorry, guys. Wholesome Roots is here. Been praying for me. Thank you so much. I've had, through Facebook and YouTube, a lot of people offering prayers for the Daddykirbs Farm, and I appreciate that. We are a little further north, so as much as I appreciate your prayers, maybe point your prayers a little further south for some, because there are some people who are in a really bad way. We don't know how bad it's going to get here. It's just really windy and intermittent rains right now, but some people down closer to the coast are getting hammered. Let's see, power goes out. I have generator and 10 gallons of gas. That's a good plan. That's Wheat Tree Bonsai. Solar dehydrator. Oh, I'm way behind. Solar dehydrator. I haven't seen one of those. I've actually seen several plans online for solar dehydrators, and I think it's something I really want to make, because there are a lot of times I want to dry herbs, I want to dry foods, just all kinds of different flowers, you know, that I want to dry out. And I don't want to run electricity in a small dehydrator. I've had several small dehydrators and they always burn out. So having a solar dehydrator here for most of the year would be a really nice addition to what we do here on the farm. Basically, it's a large glass catchment with some dark, sometimes they have aluminum cans in there all stacked up and they're spray painted black. And it goes into a channel or a cavity where you have a door. You can just put things in like a normal, you know, dehydrator, a vertical dehydrator. And then the air gets warmed up in the slanted part facing the sun, and it vertically moves through, and it dries out and has a bit of a air blowing up through it just by the convection, and it's a pretty nice thing, at least what I've seen online. How would you know if the power was out if the solar panels continued to provide electricity? That's a really good question. I don't know. I don't know. It is possible, I guess, if the panels provide electricity and the power goes out, that I might not even know. That's a good question. See, when I do things live, you guys can catch me in all these silly, nonsensical statements that I make. Let's see. Have you seen Off Grid with Doug and Stacy's outdoor kitchen? I have seen that, and they really know what they're doing there. They have the full setup. But see, they live the lifestyle. They don't just wait for an emergency. They live this daily. And when you live it, it just becomes something you do. You have to do, and it's no longer this fantasy that, wow, wouldn't that be cool? No, it's just something you do because you have to, and they are doing it really well. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Are they in the room yet? Sometimes they tune in on Saturday mornings. A little bit of buffering. Yeah, I'm sorry. The internet keeps going in and out. My internet connection is almost always bad, so I'm glad to be able to watch this time. Sunny Dog Homestead, I'm glad you're here too. Swayzon, did I get it right that time? Is here. Good to see you. Tangi says she would like for her indoor kitchen to be that nice. Yeah, our indoor kitchen's pretty nice, but heavily dependent on electricity. So that is not nice when you don't have any. Alright, man. Oh, Ronald, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He says, I will start the super chat this morning. You, sir, are a great supporter of Daddykirbs Farm. I truly appreciate you being here every week, and I do appreciate the super chats that you provide. Thank you, sir. So ask me questions. Are there anything that is there anything that you'd like to know? What's going on? Projects that we have, hopeful projects, or just whatever. Sunny Dog says, do clay ovens melt in the rain? They can. In fact, I don't know that they melt actually, but they can get soft and lose shape, fall apart if they get wet, rained on heavily. So what I've seen some people do is that they build a shelter. Because summer we have periods where there's not any rain and everything is dry and nothing's going to fall apart from rain. However, we do in the spring and the fall some pretty serious rainstorms. So I shelter we can stand on and enjoy it for community and for cooking and having tables set up so we can basically live outdoors at certain times of the year. Monty's here. Good morning. It's okay to be late. Rain Country says she loves her rocket stove, but since our deck is not covered, I only use it in the summer. The only 3 months of the year we do not get tons of rain, which is why you're called Rain Country, I'm sure. Cob ovens don't degrade. They last longer than houses do. That's interesting. From what again, this is all academic. I don't know. I've never had any experience, but my understanding was that the cob could degrade in the rain. Maybe I'm wrong. If made correctly, yeah, so maybe that's the thing. Maybe I've seen some online that weren't made correctly. Lumna Acres is building an outdoor kitchen. This is E. Cahill. Yeah, Al up there, he's doing a great job. I would love to go visit his farm because he looks like he's got a lot of really cool stuff going on up there. Øystein with the 200 NOK. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Another really strong supporter of the Daddykirbs Farm. I thank you so much for that super chat. By the way, I'm wearing my Grow t-shirt. I did not design this t-shirt. One of the community members sent me the shirt and asked me to occasionally wear it in a video. So here it is, the Grow with the tomato. I believe Kate has a link to Amazon for this shirt. So Kate, if you could post that up, that would be appreciated. Grandma Rose's Homestead said, my daughter and her family live in Houston. They're supposed to get 30+ inches of rain. Their neighborhood hasn't flooded in the past, but this is not a normal storm. So right. This is not a normal storm. You have to at least be aware and treat it as if it's something bigger, because it is, than what we usually get. I'm glad she's not in a flood-prone area. Houston is really notorious for having horrible floods. I'm glad to hear that she's not in one of those areas that normally floods. I hope she can stay high and dry. Let's see. I see my moderators are working. Thank you. Sandy Farrow in Beaumont. I hope everything is well over there. Prayers for the people affected by the storm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Liv with the 100 knock. Thank you so much. Thank you this morning for all of the support. You guys are wonderful supporters. It is true that without the support that I get through Patreon, through Super Chats, and the little bit of money that comes from the AdSense on YouTube, I wouldn't be able to keep this up. I spend a lot of time creating content for YouTube, for Steemit, and for different platforms. If I didn't have some way to supplement my income, it would be very difficult to keep up the creative efforts here on the farm. So all of you who are supporting me in those ways, Patreon and Super Chats, and if you give me regular upvotes on Steemit, all of that helps contribute to keep the Daddykirbs Farm creative content flowing. Thank you so much. Sorry that the internet is not so great this morning. I see some of you talking about it's buffering. My apologies. Dandelion Fields Homestead. Been praying for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like reading how you guys talk to each other too. Prayers to all in Texas. Yeah, there's a lot of people directly in the path of this hurricane that are in way worse position than we are. Sarah says, our friends were evacuated from Portland and are staying with us for the weekend. Let's see, could you say hi to the B-Shack family? Hey, B-Shacks! They're expecting to return to damage. That makes me sad. I know that leaving your home in an emergency situation, I've never had to do it, but I cannot imagine the thought that you would have, you know, what's going on, how is my house, how is everything I've invested in, and what am I going back to? That would be very difficult. So, prayers to the B-Shack family. Thanks for being here with me this morning, and I hope that you go back and find that your home is in great shape. Okay. Praying for a friend. Oh, praying for a friend in Corpus. Yes, Corpus is right down there where they were getting hit super hard. Hopefully they evacuated. Let's see here. Praying for everything in the path of the storms and their animals. That is a major consideration when you have animals, the horses and the goats and the chickens and the ducks and the tortoises and whatever else. It's not easy enough to just pack up and go home. Or go, oh no, you are home. Pack up and go to safety, wherever that is. So, in some cases, you know, people have to prepare their animal pens best they can, stall them up, and then go away and hope that their animals are safe. Here, I doubt that it's going to be a major issue. I think that the animals are going to be fine. Later on today, when the winds and the rain pick up more, I do expect there's going to be flooding here on the farm, because in a heavy rain event, the flooding happens. You've seen it in videos. There are areas that get a lot of water, and some of the animal pens do collect some water, but I think most of them are going to be okay. Thank you, Tangi, for encouraging everyone to give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up truly do show YouTube that you guys appreciate what's going on here, and that becomes a part of the data that they see associated with my channel, and it does mean something. So give that thumbs up to not just me, but anyone on YouTube that you appreciate. All of their videos, give them a thumbs up. It makes a difference. Any plans to do a Monday meetup with Doug and Stacy? Yes. In fact, if Doug and Stacy are watching, get on there. Yeah, actually, we've had a few conversations, and they are open to the idea, but we haven't solidified those plans. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen. They're busy. Everyone's busy. So Doug and Stacy are definitely on the list of Monday meetups, and I look forward to that becoming a reality. How are the swales filling up? I'm going to have to go check in a little bit. I haven't been out to any of the swales this morning. The rain has been fairly gentle, so I don't imagine that they're filling up right now. Just based on the water I see right here in the drive, I don't think that they're probably full yet, but they will be later. I'm quite certain of it. Let's see here. Wow, I'm way behind. 10 BLP says, just joined, are you in the path? San Antonio is in the projected path of the heavy rains and winds. Probably by the time it gets here, it will be a tropical storm. Maybe, if we're lucky, it will degrade to a tropical depression. But yes, we're definitely in the path, the projected path. Daniel T says, what are the temperatures like there with the storm? Right now, it's very comfortable. It's about 70. It's between 70 and 75. I don't know exactly what it is. But when I go in and out of the house, the temperature outside and inside are very similar. And with the AC running, it's generally about 74 degrees in the house. Oh, is it 80 degrees? Kate is answering. Is it really 80 degrees? It feels very cool. Maybe it's the breeze. What is the status of the barn, and are you still planning on adding another horse? Dolly Perry. The barn is like 85 to 90% done. Yes, the horse is coming. Last week we talked to the owners of Teo, and they said he's doing fine, no problems. Whenever we're ready, we can come get him. So the horse barn is nearly there. I got to get somebody out here to dig holes so that I can get that fence built, and then we can bring him home. But yes, that is definitely still part of the plan. How is Luke doing? I saw him in the last video post. Ronald with the Luke question. Luke, over the last week, has had some good days. He was looking pretty good in the video that we just made yesterday. It is taking a lot of work, mostly on Mom's part, to keep the calories going in. Luke, he doesn't like to eat on his own, so we have to constantly stay with him. You know, take the next bite, eat this, eat that, and it's all day long. But over the last week, we've been able to stay on top of that and get a few more calories in him, and he is looking better. He doesn't like to drink liquids, so that is still a pretty significant struggle. The doctor in Houston said, based on his height, age, size, all that stuff, he should be getting at least 57 ounces of fluid a day, and it is a major struggle to get 50 ounces or more in him a day. So we are struggling, and we still have some issues there, but this week he's doing better. Is the barn going to survive the farm? Monty, I think the barn is overbuilt. It's the one thing I'm not really worried about. I am a little concerned about the metal roofing right here on this structure connected to the original cabin. That's going to have to come down someday because it's not looking that good. Let's see. I'm catching up. You guys, a lot of good conversation. Permy Mama. Hey, Daddykirbs. Hey, Permy Mama. Ronald says, I use an Excalibur dehydrator, dry all my peppers and tomatoes in it. The Excalibur gets a lot of great reviews. Danny Johnston from the South. Good morning. I know I've missed some people. My apologies. Put your horse in the barn with plenty of hay and water. That's exactly what we did. Last night, Maggie went into the barn. We shut the door. We put lots of hay in there. She has a water bucket. She is in good shape. We checked on her this morning. She's looking fine. Lots of questions about the barn. I was putting a few things in there last night to get them out of the wind and rain. So right now it's a nice place to just put things aside. Yes, thank you, Wee Tree, for pointing to that video I did last night. So is everyone on Steam It now? I haven't looked in, but it keeps popping up in the chats and vids. I don't know if everyone's on there, but it's a fun platform to play around with. I like it. I've been trying to do one post per day over there. The post on Steam It generally take me about 20 minutes to do, compared to a video that can take, you know, depending on the type of video, 2 to 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes. So throwing up a post on Steam It to share a little bit about my journey, my story, or just something fun is a way that I can share a little bit of a different perspective and a view, and then people can upvote that and reward each other on the platform with that cryptocurrency. So it's just kind of a fun thing to hang out and play around with. Carolina Bain says, how far inland are you? We're a couple hundred miles. We're in San Antonio. So the coast, I don't know exactly how many miles, but I think it's a couple hundred miles from where I live down to the coast, you know, the Corpus Christi area. I'm trying to catch up here. Danny Johnston, good morning. Blake from southern Indiana. Beekeeper. I have great memories in southern Indiana, by the way. I grew up in Indiana, and we would drive down to southern Indiana to hang out. We had some family down there, and a 40-acre tract with a cabin on it, and it was just kind of nice to hang out. Let's see. You enjoy the beekeeping videos. Blessings on all Texans in the path of hurricane. Yes. The shelters don't accept pets, much less farm animals. Yep. Speaking of dehydrators, I just remembered Ronald talked about his Excalibur. Kate is using one. I can't remember the brand name. Kate, if you want to put that up. Yours looks like a really good dehydrator as well. Mr. Rain is asking how the barn and shop is coming. I think I answered this, but the structure, the walls, everything is up. The roof is on. I still need to put the fascia on the back so I can put the gutters on the back. But what I still need to do is finish the trim and then put gates on it. And it's pretty much there. I mean, the barn is 90%. It's good. I wonder if the flooding is more likely because of being in a drier area where the ground is not made for absorbing so much water like it is here. Yes, our clay soil does not absorb quickly. It's absorbent, but it's slow. So it absorbs slowly and swells up, and then it will contract as it dries out. But if we get a lot of rain all at once, like is normal here, it hits the ground and runs off. How many inches so far of rain? I don't know. I would imagine maybe 2 or 3. And it's been fairly gentle. And over... it started raining last night, I think around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And it's been slow and gentle for most of the night. So it hasn't had a great negative impact. Mike Jetson, where is this guy at? Are you talking about this guy? This guy is in the San Antonio area of Texas. Lots of good conversation. According to my weather station, it is 80 with 57% humidity. That's low humidity. That's why it doesn't feel so warm. All the humidity is in the form of water falling. Better Together Life made it in the house. He is alive and well. Good morning. Good to see you. Maybe you've already done this in the comments that I haven't gotten to, but I look forward to reading how you are doing. So, Bo, please jump in and let us know how you're doing. Dolly Perry says that will be a happy day when the barn is finished and you can bring Teo home. I agree. We are all looking forward to that. We have conversations here in the house where we talk about Teo and we talk about how we're going to manage the horses and just have a good time with that experience. I'm going to scroll through a little bit, try to catch up.
How's the show going?
Hey, good. It's my daughter.
Hey.
This is the horse owner herself. She is Daddykirbsgirl on Instagram. You can check her out at Daddykirbsgirl. She shows lots of pictures of the horse and the cats and other fun things here on the farm. Let's see. Mr. Rain, will you consider putting tin up again when you re-roof? On the barn or the house? Actually, I really do like the metal roof that I put on the barn. It's the same metal roof that I have on the second structure here, the original cabin, the guest house. We are talking about putting a metal roof on the main house, but that's going to be a different profile. It's going to be a heavier gauge metal. So yes, I really do like the metal roof. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Thanks for the reminder, Mr. Ronald. Good coffee. Crazy Days. Thanks for inviting us to your Monday meetups. Wanda from Deep South Homestead. It took me a while to catch on that Crazy Days was you, Wanda. But there you are. Thanks for being here. Alright, I am going to scroll through a little bit. The wind is picking up a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. It doesn't look like it really, but it's starting to sound much windier around me. Yeah, it comes in gusts. Some of the trees, you know, I see a comment about the trees loving the rain, and they do. But there's an interesting thing that happens here because the ground gets so dry and starts to contract and pull away, and then it gets wet. There's a lot of movement in the ground. That's why a lot of people here have foundation problems. But that also affects the trees. Last week, before we got the rain, because everything was so dry and pulling away, one of our trees fell over. And I suspect that that's one of the reasons that I have a lot of leaning trees on the farm, because they get pushed up and pulled and pushed, and then the water comes through and then the wind. So a lot of our trees are leaning over because of the extreme dry and then the extreme wet that we get here. All right, all right. Jennifer Russell said her husband left yesterday morning with a crew to wait out the storm to help after the storm. Good for him. The finish work on the barn takes the longest. You are so right, Mr. Rain. It's the trim work that gets you. Always. Sunny Dog says, do you have hard pan like we have here? I'm not exactly sure. Now, my definition of hard pan is where the ground has been tilled and where the clay sinks to a level and creates a hard layer underneath that top layer that's farmed. Maybe that's not the correct definition of hard pan. So I wouldn't have that because we don't till any of the ground. But we definitely have clay, and it does create a very hard layer of soil. Based on the post holes that we've dug here, I have about 2 to 3 feet of black clay that can get very hard, and then I have about a foot or so of big rocks, you know, kind of a sandy rocky layer, and then underneath that it's more of a white clay with a lot of sand in it. So there's 3 very distinct layers up to about 4 feet down. Yeah, I need more swales. I need more swales and tanks. All right, I smile because it's really fun watching you guys have the conversation. And I got to catch up. Did Better Together Life ever tell his story and how they're doing? I'm not there yet. Doesn't it get hot with a metal roof? That is, I'm going to say the name wrong. Bakira P. The metal roof, I don't know if it makes it any more hot than a normal roof. We haven't really noticed. The guest house has the metal roof. It is a galvanized roof, so it reflects light. So that might actually make it cooler. I'm not sure. Oh man, I'm way behind. See, Better Together Life, we are actually doing great. It appears that the eye of Harvey is heading straight to y'all, Daddykirbs. We're getting the dirty side of the storm, but as of now, it's actually not raining much. Good. Keep those babies safe over there. Ooh, Toxic Gorilla 9 is in Corpus and sleeping was rough last night. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I'm scrolling. This is where I get quiet. I'm just trying to catch up. You guys, there's a lot of chat. I want to read some questions. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to scroll through fairly quickly and look for the all caps to see if they are, just so I can catch up with the chat. Ronald says maybe change the channel name to Leaning Tree Farm. That would be more appropriate. All right. Trish, good morning. Trish is now following Daddykirbsgirl on Instagram, and she gave a $5 super chat. Aww. Thank you, Trish. What's that? Oh, good, good, yeah. So Daddykirbsgirl had this bucket full of fresh grass that she collected yesterday before the rain, and she gave some to the tortoises and some to Maggie so that she could have something other than her hay. She gave her just a handful of the green grass this morning. Miss Vizsla, California drought. I lost a bunch of oak due to a lack of water followed by a wet winter. Yeah, that's hard on those trees. Yep, questions in all caps. I'm sorry if I'm missing you. Hey, I caught up. There I am. 87 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who gives me a thumbs up. That does let YouTube know that you appreciate what's going on here on the farm. Do follow Daddykirbsgirl on Instagram if you want a different perspective of the farm. And she does a lot of the animals and cute shots from around the farm. In fact, I have been forgetting lately to do much on Instagram, so it might be fun to go ahead and follow at Daddykirbsgirl on Instagram.
That's me.
That's her. Yeah, there's no help from Maggie this morning. She's not going to come into the show and push me around.
I'd be kind of worried if she got out like that.
Oh, yeah, actually, if she got out and came up here on the porch, that'd be an interesting show.
Yeah.
All right, I saw that Better Together Life says, last night we had some tornado warnings around 2 a.m., so Kelly was a rock star and packed our bathroom with all of the essentials, food, water, diapers in all caps, and the Peter Pan book they are reading. You guys are good mommy and daddy. I do need to do another farm tour. In fact, if I can get out later in the rain, I'd like to do another rain walk. I've had a few of those over the years, and I think that's something fun. So I am a little concerned about the camera getting ruined, and I don't know if the umbrella will be able to hold up to the wind that's blowing around out here, but I might give it a try. Laura says, is there a reason why you did not place Jack Jack with the large tortoise? Yes. Jack Jack and Coco are both male, and they are territorial. They don't like another male being in their area. In the wild, as I understand it, I'm not a sulcata tortoise expert, but as I understand it, each male will have a range that they'll walk, patrol, and then every night they go out and walk their perimeter and around, and then they come back to the same place. If another male comes into their space, they will chase them out or try to kill them. And Coco is more than twice as big as Jack Jack, and it wouldn't take a whole lot for Coco to turn him over, which would kill him, or crush him. I guess that's one of the techniques that the large tortoises will use. I'm not sure if Jack Jack is small enough to be crushed, but I don't want to try. I don't want to see. It's just, we keep them separated as much as possible. Occasionally, when we have them both out grazing at the same time, they will see each other, and Coco will rush Jack. And it can be very intimidating. In fact, sometimes when we startle them, they'll jump and rush at us, and it can be very startling. There have been a couple occasions where the tortoises, the two, have seen each other and they've ignored each other. So I don't really know what the triggers are there, but we definitely don't want to put them in the same small space that could cause a problem. Three more thumbs up to reach 100. Wow. Better Together Live set. Oh, do you still have your own old camera? That's true. I could use the old camera and not risk the new setup. You're a smart guy. That's why you are the Better Together Life. How much does the large tortoise weigh? We haven't had him on a scale, so I don't know officially, but based on how it takes two people to pick him up, I'm going to guess that he is 100 pounds, maybe a little more. So he is a pretty big boy. And he's not as big as he can get. Coco, the big tortoise that you saw on the back of the golf cart, what was that? Sounded like something hit the roof. The big tortoise you saw, yeah, it's blowing in hard now. The big tortoise you saw on the back of the golf cart in the video that I put up last night, the special episode, is Coco, and he still has, let's see, he's about 16, 17 years old, I think, if I remember correctly. And somewhere around 20 years of age is when they become fully mature, full size. So he's got a couple years of growing. Mostly he will put on weight, not so much grow bigger. I've read and I've heard that they can reach about 200 pounds when they are fully mature. So we'll see. I don't know. Coco has I'm sure he's over 100 pounds. I see, sorry, mint in person like farm day. I must have missed a comment. Okay, fill me in. Kate and Greg Berry asking comments, asking questions about farm day. I missed something, sorry. James the Badger Keen says, I get open heart surgery tomorrow to remove a tumor. I want to try and get 100 before. Please help me by subbing. Well, I'm really sorry that you're going through those physical challenges. You have my prayers. Thank you for the info. Need some ladies. Yeah, I do need some lady tortoises. Actually, both of the tortoises, we have no intentions of breeding tortoises because sulcata tortoises actually are overbred for the pet industry, and we don't want to contribute to that. But it would be nice to see some tortoises together. That's why we've talked about maybe trying to find some females. But female tortoises, my understanding, again, I'm not the sulcata expert, they're much more desirable. People keep them. They bring a higher price. So it's not likely that we're going to probably rescue some female sulcata tortoises. Hey, I got 100 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Oh, 105. Thanks, guys. 106. Thanks, guys. You guys are funny. Let's see. Sorry, trying to catch up, reading. Well, Mr. James, I see you are persistent with your message. Good for you. How did I end up getting tortoises? This is a, okay, so the original tortoise, Jack, my son who lives in Florida has a friend who was a tortoise breeder who was going out of business, so she needed to get rid of some of her tortoise. Somehow my son ended up getting Jack, and he surprised us by coming home one night, drove from Florida to Texas without letting us know he was coming home, showed up with this tortoise and said, here's your gift. So that's how we got the first tortoise. And then Coco came to us by way of rescue. Somebody let us know that a friend of theirs living down in San Antonio had this tortoise, but then they got a dog, and the dog and the tortoise were not getting along. Actually, the dog really loved the tortoise. He loved chewing on him. So they had to give up their tortoise. So that's how we got Coco. Oh, Greg asked if I was going to do another farm day. It's always on my mind. I would love to do another farm day. I had a lot of fun. I felt like it was a great community building exercise. But this year, because of Luke and Luke's challenges and the amount of effort we have to put into taking care of Luke, and I know this is silly, but after the farm day, we had septic problems. We're on septic, and it ended up costing us over $1,000 to get the septic fixed. So it kind of discouraged us from having a lot of people on the farm again until we can figure out how to either bring in porta potties or do some sort of outdoor composting toilet outhouse. So mostly it's because of the effort that we're putting into Luke. But there is that issue of when you have, I think we had 300 people come in that day, and who knows how many people use the septic, and you can't always control what they're putting down your toilets. So that's kind of a bummer. Better Together Life says, why do you have tortoises? That's a good question. It's really because my wife and I really like turtles and tortoises. We just like them. And my son knew that, which is why he brought one home from Florida. We just didn't know that that was going to create what it is now. 2 very large tortoises that we have to have special accommodations for. Okay, it has been 1 hour, so I'm going to read through, catch up on the comments, and we're going to close this. But I want you to pay attention to the channel for the next 30 minutes or so after I close this, because I am going to go up to my editing station and release another video right after this. And the video, it's a short one. It's not you know, super crazy awesome, but it will have some information about our cooking situation that I realized and I needed to fix, you know, in case of emergency. So that's going to be a quick video that I release right after this. So let's see here. Lots of thumbs up. I thank you so much. Does the storm like this bring any benefit to your area, or is it just annoying? Well, you know, the benefit is we get some rain, but it is annoying that the rain comes in so heavy and so fast. It would be a lot better if we got slower, more gentle rains more often, instead of these drying out and then getting all the rain all at once. So that part's kind of annoying here, but oh well. Okay, I'm going to scroll. Oh, the weekend homestead. I know I was heavily missed. You were. You were. I'm glad you're here. Alright, I think I'm just about done. You guys are awesome. You're the best audience ever. I mean that. You guys are a lot of fun to hang out with. A lot of fun to watch the communication that happens between you guys in the chat. Yes, the composting toilets and outhouses are more efficient and beneficial to the farm. Absolutely, and it is a project that I hope to get finished. Standing by for the next video. Great job, moderators. Honestly, truly, everyone with a wrench. You guys, I could not do this show without you. You are amazing people looking out for keeping this family friendly, and yeah, you guys do a great service to me, and I truly appreciate that. Real quick, I am caught up. Thank you. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.